I think you'll all agree that 2020 was a year to forget. So many charities have had financial challenges like never before due to the pandemic. But the silver lining in all of this is you.
For decades, the authority has done all kinds of projects to improve the watershed. And I think it's really, really important that we all do our part going forward.
We want to recognize you, to thank you and show you the impact of your gift.
The Foundation's been an extremely important partner to the Authority for years. They raise money for us to do projects, to keep our educational programs going. They have been essential, and they're a bunch of selfless volunteers that put in their time and provide excellent service to our organization.
As a child growing up and being in the community, I got to enjoy Lake Simcoe all the time, and it seemed to me that everybody had that, and I didn't really understand how important that was.
We do have quite a long history at Degrassi, actually. Our grandchildren are 6th generation up here.
And later on, I came to learn about the Lake Simcoe Conservation Authority Foundation. And as a result, it made me aware that it needed to be supported.
We just couldn't be happier that we are here and have found a wonderful place to be. And hopefully, we'll be able to keep that.
We're looking to the future. We want to build, as we say, a cleaner and healthier future for our kids, for our grandkids.
We are living in a very populated area, and I know the populations are growing. So really protecting and enhancing and preserving these spaces is very critical to the health of the Lake Simcoe watershed.
Nature has changed, the environment has changed. The sand is covered in starry stonewort, and all of a sudden, there's all these invasive species in here.
We're all hearing more and more every day about climate change. It's here, it's real, we're seeing it every day, and sadly, we're seeing it in ways that are catastrophic.
Climate change is not affecting just what is in the lake, it's also affecting our recreational ability to use the lake. So things like ice fishing, our ability to swim, and also our use of the lake as a drinking water source. One of our main projects that we do on the lake is monitoring the aquatic plants in Lake Simcoe and seeing change in the community's species and also the changes with invasive species. These studies are important because they show us how the environment is changing in Lake Simcoe. So it's basically the same as seeing the change in a forest on land, as you're looking at these underwater forests.
The Conservation Authority has been working with this farm in Beaverton to address surface water runoff from the farm. And essentially the water coming off this property is laden with sediment, phosphorus, other nutrients and chemicals that was directly going into Lake Simcoe.
We operate with the understanding that we want to preserve our farmland and to mitigate any negative consequences of our farming operation that might impact the lake or the community.
And we've done this by creating a design that implements a lot of different agricultural best management practices. And these things are included things like stormwater ponds, water and sediment control basins, grass waterways.
It has been more successful than we had anticipated, and I'm really happy about that.
So this is one of our properties, and there was a pond and a berm that was created, and we wanted to remove that barrier to allow for fish to pass through. By removing the barrier, we are actually improving the habitat for the fish that are here, because it allows them now to be able to travel upstream and to lay their eggs. And also creating the wetland features provide some other habitat for things like reptiles and amphibians. When they did the wetland creation project and the berm removal, they had to remove the fill, and they actually placed the fill here, and it was a low quality meadow beforehand. So we wanted to increase the biodiversity and the types of plants that are here that would be beneficial to the wildlife that's here, but also the pollinators as well. Through this project, we were also able to purchase grassland equipment that we can use at this site, but also use at different restoration areas around the Lake Simcoe watershed.
We're located in the south end of the town of Aurora. This is in Shepherd's Bush Park. The problem here was that there was an old concrete barrier. So the intent was to remove that barrier, allow the fish to migrate, and also enhance that section of creek. The fact that we can restore a natural creek system in the middle of an urbanized area is pretty impressive. And when you're walking through here, you have no idea you're in the middle of a very booming municipality.
We acquired this land in 2014. It was an old agricultural field. We really want to help increase the biodiversity at this site, not only for the pollinators, but also for the bird species as well. I've always been passionate about birds, specifically the species at risk, like the bobolink or the eastern meadowlark. And we're hoping that with these types of improvements, we'll start to see the bobolink come back as well.
So our education program is a pillar of all of our programs and services at the Authority. Now more than ever with COVID, we understand that kids need to be outside. They need to be immersed in nature, and we need to provide the programming for them to really appreciate and love nature.
Forest School is a fully outdoor program that encourages children to kind of learn at their own pace and in their own time. You start to see a shift in the kids where we're going to the forest or we're going to the pond, and 2-3 weeks later, they start taking ownership of it. So it's kind of like, we're gonna go visit our pond or we're gonna go visit our tree. So they feel like Scanlon belongs to them.
The facility that we have for our kids in the education center itself is past its life cycle, which is a fancy term for saying it's falling apart.
The Nature Center is the anchor of our outdoor education programming, and if it's not rebuilt, it will end at Scanlon Creek. Getting outside in nature is key to our recovery from this pandemic, and the new Nature Center will be a multi-use facility that the entire watershed will utilize.
It's tremendous for all of Simcoe County, South Simcoe, York region, and so it's very worthy of support and time for all of us.
The foundation has had to cancel so many fundraising events this year. Our annual conservation dinner was postponed and then canceled for the first time in its 32-year history.
The annual dinner is one of the most enjoyable of the many, many events that I attend each year. One of the companies that I'm a partner in, Shining Hill Homes, is the title sponsor. If we're fortunate, we'll be happy to take that role for as long as we can going forward.
I'm so proud that many sponsors came to bat and continue to support us anyways. It's through your support, the generous giving of your precious time and money, that helps plant more trees, provide outdoor education to kids of all ages, restore the rivers and streams flowing into Lake Simcoe, and study the human impact on our local ecosystem.
We need to support the lake, we need to support the foundation in the best ways that we can with the best things we can offer. Keep the lake alive for many, many generations so people that got to enjoy it like myself can enjoy it for many years to come.
We need support, not just from people who have cottages or live on the lake, because the environment is bigger than just the lake. It's the rivers running into the lake. It's what you put on your lawn. It's awareness all around.
I think we need to do our part today, because what we do today will impact what happens tomorrow.
There's a lot of different areas that we can give time to assist in the foundation endeavors, finding capital to support it, and just playing a role to find new ideas, new creative ways to make it better, and to provide my support into the community.
We're so grateful for the foundation's support on projects like these.
The foundation helps us with all of these projects, and they will not happen without their help.
I'd like to say a special thank you to all of our donors who've supported us over the years, and the ones that will be supporting us in the future. We really, really do rely on you, and we are very thankful to you, so thank you.
Everybody who has donated to this lake, I cannot tell you how helpful it's been.
We're not out of the woods yet, but the time will come when we can reflect on how we came together stronger in spite of our challenges to ensure a more sustainable future for our children and our grandchildren.